You're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkies Tuesday Night Flight. It's me, it's the big guy KG, sitting in with none other than probably next to myself, the biggest Florence Ballard fan that you'll find, because he just thinks he's going out of his head. The Midnight Rider.
What's going on, man? How you doing today?
I'm making it, man. It's been a rough week already, and it's only Tuesday, but I'm making it. So, how about yourself?
Yeah, this was a Monday, Tuesday for me. So it was very Monday-ish. So only reason I knew it was Tuesday is because I started getting the messages about show stuff, show prep.
Yeah. Because, I wait till the last minute for that. So, yeah. Before we jump into the show, let me say this. Ross is joining that. Ross, early. I'm glad you're here, brother.
Oh, shoot.
I am glad you're here because I've crossed over to the dark side. We'll get to that in a minute. So, how you feeling tonight? Local. Georgetown women's basketball coach Tasha Butts lost her battle with cancer yesterday. She just took over up on the Hill in April. And now, before she even got to coach her first season, she's passed on. So condolences and prayers to her family, friends, all the lives that she's touched. I mean, absolutely devastated because she was young. She's 41. Been fighting breast cancer for 2 years. So you don't ever want to see you don't want to see anybody go through something like that. I always say the same thing. Fuck cancer, fuck cancer's babies. And I kick cancer in the ass if I ever seen it. Losing too many to it, man. I hope that one day you can actually find a cure for it, and we're not putting rest in peace in front of people's names, man. So Ross, he said sad to hear that, and I agree. Very, very sad. When I saw the news yesterday, it was sad. And truth about that cancer, just fuck cancer. Midnight Rider, you got anything? Oh, up.
Sorry about that. Had to make an adjustment. Had to call Elite Audible. Sound like the heat coming on. If that's the case, I gotta shut down the vents. Yeah, that was sad. I mean, the fact that she didn't even get a chance to coach a game, man. I know personally if that's something I was working for and then I just couldn't get to it. Yeah. That would have been disappointing. But I mean, for the most part, she got at least hopefully if that's her dream job, at least she got that. Before she lost her fight.
Agreed. Well, let's jump into this week 7 recap. Up and down week. It looked good for a while, and then all of a sudden, boom, the bottom fell out like a torrential downpour. We'll start with our first game. We did the Lions versus the Ravens. The Ravens did not Raven this. They came out and started stomping with the big dogs. 38-6 over the Lions. Lamar Jackson, 21-27, 357 and 3 TDs. Jared Goff, 33 of 53, 284 and an interception. Jahmyr Gibbs said he was going to be the workhorse. He was 11 carries, 68 yards, and a TD. Gus Edwards, 14 carries, 64 yards, and a touchdown.
That's a typical Gus day.
Yeah, and he also had one reception for 80 yards. So
Gus went 80.
Yeah,
Wow.
and didn't no touchdown on that, which is crazy. Thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the start of the way this week went, where there were some teams that we thought maybe were starting to put their feet down or their foot down as contenders, as dominant teams. And now we're looking at a team where maybe we got more questions asked or to ask than we actually have answers. So watching this game, I kept peeking over to the game because, of course, they were on when we were on. And it just never made sense. I was like, all right, 14-0. Detroit's about to make their run. Ooh, 21. Ooh. And then finally the game ended. So it was like nothing else I could do.
Ross says Ravens throwing some new wrinkles against the aggressive linebackers of the Lions. I think that has to be, we had a phrase last week. What was it? Unlocking talent.
Mm-hmm.
That was the phrase last week. This week is new wrinkles. That's the phrase for this week is new wrinkles. And I'll tell you why when we get a little later into the next segment. But the Ravens, they came out, they didn't do what they normally did. And they played Ravens ball. Stout defense. Offense was just beautiful. Lamar had an MVP type game. This is why that cat was the MVP of the league 2 years ago. Or was it 3 years? However long ago it was. But this is why. Next game, the Kansas City Chiefs hosted the Los Angeles Chargers. This was a tight one for a little while. It was 17-all for a minute. And then all of a sudden, the bottom fell out. Los Angeles couldn't score anymore. Kansas City kept scoring. Kansas City wins 31-17. Justin Herbert, 17 of 30, 259, a touchdown and 2 picks. He's the active leader in losses for a QB, and he was just drafted in 2020. He has 28 losses as a starter.
Makes sense.
It's rough.
Nah, I mean, this is the team that we say it every week. Like, they Charger.
Yeah.
They have the talent. They have the talent. They're one of the more talented teams. When you're 3 levels of your defense, you got like a Derwin James, you have a Bosa. I mean, then you got Khalil Mack on the other side. I mean, geez. Like there should be more. They're not unlocking the talent, obviously, because they're not doing something right to get this team in a better position to win ball games. And that's the part I don't understand. And then some reason no one decided to guard Kelsey. He had something like 10 receptions at halftime, something ridiculous. So, yeah, it was just one of those things where the Chargers didn't do anything. And they gave the Chiefs, or they allowed the Chiefs to just establish what they do and they took nothing away. They didn't take the obvious away, which I don't understand in today's football where you have all the specialization. I know for a fact when I watched the Thursday night ball game, I saw Ridley getting doubled. Like there was a man underneath him on every route, and there was a man over top on every route. But I haven't seen some reason they didn't do that to Kelsey, which didn't make sense to me.
Jumping back a little bit, Paul chimed in. He says, new wrinkles doesn't excuse the Detroit defense for giving Lamar 10 seconds to throw.
Yep.
I can agree with that. He also says keeping Staley was a mistake.
I think we've all said that.
And Ross chimed in. He said coaching, maybe.
Oh, no, there's no maybe. There's no maybe. It's one coaching and then everything else.
Now, see, Paul said something. I'm going to get to that in a second. Hold on, Paul. I got a response to that. Patrick Mahomes, 32 of 42, 424, 4 TDs and an interception. Isaiah Pacheco, 13 carries, 32 yards. Joshua Kelly for the Chargers has 7 carries, 75 yards and a touchdown. I'm the fuck missing it, Mo. How are you rushing 7 times for 75 yards and you're not dominating this ball game? Like, also for the Chargers, Joshua Palmer, 5 receptions, 133 yards. Travis Kelce, 12 receptions, 179 yards and a touchdown. Now, Paul said Taylor sprinkled Kelce with Swifty dust before the game. And I'm like, hey, NFL, wrap this shit up, B. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the dry ass handshake between her and Mahomes' wife. Stop! I want to watch football.
You are.
I don't want to watch Taylor Swift.
You're not. They just show on the screen every now and then. That's all.
Too much. I agree. Al Michaels, you may not like Al Michaels. You may not agree with him. He said, I'm not doing Access Hollywood. That's that.
Well, I think that's really what everybody doesn't realize is Al Michaels at his old age is just like, I'm 78. I'm cranky. You got me up late for these garbage games. And he's just not a happy guy, man.
Oop checking in. Hey, that's his phrase that pays. If anybody on any other show talk about these hoe ass tackles, you better cut Oop a check. You better cut the man a check because that's his statement. That's his phrase that pays. These hoe ass tackles. I love it. I love it. Ross says Kelly didn't bust a great when he started for Eckler. That's crazy. And that's the truth. He didn't. He did not. Not even a little bit. But did anybody really think that the Chargers were going to beat Kansas City? Honestly?
No, I just thought it was going to be a close game. I thought this game would be a typical Charger loss where they have a late drive. Either they tie the ball game up or they go up by like 1 or 2, and then they come back and give up the late game drive, the late game in the drive where Mahomes ends the game, gets them in a field goal position with a great play. They kick the field goal, they win the ball game, they walk it off. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Nah, second half belonged to the Chiefs. They scored what? They only scored 7, but the Chargers scored nothing. So from one old school AFL showdown to another, the former Boston Patriots, now New England Patriots versus the boss BJ's Buffalo Bills. Patriots win this one 29-25. I can say this was a shocker. Mac Jones looking like Mac Jones, 25 of 30, 272 and 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen, 27 of 41, 265, 2 touchdowns and a pick. James Cook, 13 carries, 56 yards. Ramondre Stevenson, 9 carries, 34 yards. Ain't much running being done in this game. Kendrick Bourne had 6 receptions for 63 yards and a touchdown. And Dalton Kincaid, 8 receptions for 75 yards. Midnight Rider.
Shocker, man. I think the first rule, we should be allowed to find Mike Gesicki every time he scores and he tries to do whatever that is, because it's definitely not the gritty. It's very, well, I'm not going to say the word. It ain't good.
Unseasoned, maybe?
I was going to say shitty, but all right.
But that's what makes it cool, though. That's why I like it, because it's quirky. And it is shitty, but that's what makes it cool. I love when he does it. I'm a Gesicki man, so I like him.
Well, that thing is awful. If anything should be banned from TV, that should be. I'll take the Taylor Swift and Mahomes' wife handshake over the gritty.
No, give me Gesicki doing the gritty from the 50 over that. I promise you.
But something's up with Buffalo. Maybe it's the fact that they're starting to run out of bodies. Maybe the Matt Milano effect is in play here, where since you don't have one of your better linebackers, You're just missing on certain plays. You're out of position where you normally would have somebody. And maybe just the Patriots had a good game plan. I don't know what it is. I can't put this was the biggest head scratcher of the day for me. It just didn't make sense. And I kept trying to make it make sense. And it never made sense at all. Go ahead, KG.
I give you that because the way New England drove down the field and just pretty much walked in, yeah, that's not indicative of Buffalo's defense. Now, this defense was number one in the league for the last 2 years. They've had the number one defense for the last 2 years. What is this? I don't know, but they got to fix it fast. And it's not just them. It's a couple of teams that need to fix it fast. Paul says the real Josh Allen resides in Duval. That QB in Buffalo is not elite just because he can throw it over them mountains. And
Who is that, Uncle Rico?
Huh?
So he calling them Uncle Rico?
But somebody else said that. They said the only reason why they call Josh Allen elite is because he went toe-to-toe and lost to Patrick Mahomes so many times. That's the only reason why they call him elite. But
that's a pretty good reason to call him elite.
But as a precursor to the next game, it's something that Shannon Sharp said about Brock Purdy, but I think it's the same about Josh Allen in a sense. If you call Josh Allen elite, you call Brock Purdy elite, you got to call Patrick Mahomes something else. You got to put him something else above elite because those guys are not in his category. Now, don't get me wrong, Josh Allen is on the cusp, but Josh Allen has to get back to doing Josh Allen things. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's not playing his type of ball. He's not using his head. And it seems like he's gone back to this gunslinger mode, and he's not making great decisions anymore.
Is it gunslinger mode, or is this I gotta feed what's my man's name? We gotta feed Diggs. Yeah, is it more of a byproduct of him maybe forcing the football a time or two to Stephon because he's trying to keep him in the ball game, as opposed to maybe letting the offense flow naturally? Is it a combination of that and Gabe Davis just not being available because he decided not to show up for this section of the ball game? I mean, it could be anything. Like, didn't they lose Dawson Knox in this ball game too?
I'm not 100% sure, so don't.
Yeah, I think they lost Dawson Knox in the middle of this game. He didn't return, so that's another example there. Add to it.
They got to right the ship because this is my Super Bowl pick, and you're gonna make me look like a fucking idiot if you don't right this ship, Buffalo. I'm begging you to right this ship because I don't want to look like an idiot. And Paul says Knox was out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know, KG. I mean, you gotta. It's not making you like an idiot. It's just sometimes the teams don't show. Like right now, I mean, I think I had the Phillies and the Astros in the Major League World Series, and right now, the Rangers took care of the Astros, and the Diamondbacks been giving the Phillies all they want.
Yeah, ain't that down to Game 7?
Yeah, this is the first time in a long time that both series, both of them, both series ended up in Game 7s for the pennant. I think it's something like 2014 or something like that was the last time.
And speaking of that, real quick, we'll get to it and wrap it up. But Dusty calling it a career after this year, I'm a little pissed off behind that. The inventor of the high five.
No, it was time. It's time because knowing Dusty, we'll copy that later.
And Ross right on time. I can kind of sort of hear Ross saying this. F the Astros. I love it. Next game. This was game of the week 1A. Vikings versus 49ers. And when I shared this, I said Niner gang tap in for a reason. Vikings win 22-17 last night, Monday Night Football. Brock Purdy, 21 of 30, 272, a touchdown and 2 picks. Kirk Cousins, you like that? 35 of 45, 378, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Christian McCaffrey, only 15 carries, 45 yards and a touchdown. Alexander Madison, 8 carries, 39 yards. George Kittle, 5 catches, 78 yards. And Jordan Addison, 7 catches, 123, and 2 touchdowns. I'm going to let you have this one first, Midnight Ride, and then I'll get into why I wanted the 49ers fans to tap in.
Oh, I already know what you're going to say. But I'll let you arrive to your conclusion when you get there. But on this game, watching last night, it was fun to see Kirk spread the football around, get people involved. I still don't understand. I just don't understand the plan. The plan for the Vikings, I like the defense. The defense is like, look, we're not as good as you, so we're going to put you under duress the whole time. I don't mind that. What I don't get is this running back collection. Is the waiting till June to change your mind and not go with a different back, and then being stuck with Matson and company just still doesn't make sense. I like the trade for Cam Akers. Cam Akers flashed a couple times last night. Jordan Addison with a great, interception saver, because he just stole that pass from what's his name, Ward, and took that to the house. So last night had some interesting moments. It was typical, top C guys playing each other. So it was good times, man.
Was a good game. I actually had the 49ers winning this. I said the 49ers are on the cusp. And I said it 2 weeks ago. I'll say it again. You haven't arrived yet. You think you have, but you haven't arrived yet. This was a must-win game, not in the sense of winning to make the playoffs, but this is a must-win game to show your might. You failed to show your might. Oh, we didn't have Debo. So what? Work with the pieces that you have. So Brandon Ayuk is not good enough now?
I mean, they also missing Trent. I mean, they had a couple things going on. But I get it. I said I get it, KG.
I know you get it. But I know you get it. But for those that don't get it, that's no excuse. You have to work with the pieces that you're given. If the silverback is out, okay, next player up. Step up and go. This bang, Niner gang, we going to the Super Bowl. You as delusional as Cowboy fans because you're not going to get past Philadelphia. You're not playing like this. You're not getting past Philadelphia. I'm sorry. But really, I'm not even going to say I'm fucking sorry because I'm not sorry. You can see it as me hating. You can see it as me being bitter because I'm none of that. I'm not hating. I'm here to tell the truth. I get paid to tell the truth. I get paid to tell it like it is, not how it could be. Okay? The Niners are not there yet. If they can't win games like this that should be wins, the Vikings are not even on their level, and they lost to the Vikings. They're not even on their level. Not on any phase of the ball. Not even on their level. So you mean to tell me you couldn't roll over them? You rolled over for them, but you couldn't roll over them.
Let's come back into some perspective, big fella. I mean, this was a weekend where a lot of teams that we thought, in your terms of people arriving or feeling like they arrive, if we use the context of them losing this week, then a lot of teams were fraudulent in this whole thing. So you got to be careful on this. And I mean, we got 10 more weeks of this?
Yes.
So, I mean, we got to manage the smiles and cries, baby.
I get that. And Paul brought up a good point. Without Justin Jefferson, that's a top 3 receiver in the league. They beat him without him. The truth is a bitter pill to swallow. I'm only here to tell the truth, so it's going to be very, very bitter for Niner game to swallow. And this is an unbiased opinion, but you haven't arrived yet.
I'm not sure if this is unbiased.
It's unbiased because here's the thing. I need them to arrive because my money depends on them arriving.
Your little antennas start doing this while you.
It's beam me up, Scotty. I'm ready to go back to the mothership. Make my funk the P funk. Shit. But I'm just. It's not just San Francisco. It's Buffalo. It's Dallas. You know, just those three teams alone, right there in the NFC. Well, San Francisco and Dallas in the NFC, Buffalo in the AFC. They should be head and shoulders above the rest. There should be no reason that they're in a dogfight with teams that ain't even on their level.
But you gotta remember, this is a 1-game weekly contest that you get. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates.
That's true.
So you gotta give some things to the laws of nature. You know, they could have been smelling themselves a little bit. Could have been a letdown for them. You never know.
But here's the thing. And even though Dallas was off this week, Dallas has one of the most dominant defensive players that plays the game today in Micah Parsons. That dude is a problem. No matter how you look at it, he's a problem. Myles Garrett. I'm thinking of Jadeveon Clowney in college. Myles Garrett is a problem. He spearheaded that defense. And look at how well that defense is playing, because everybody's like, okay, let's ratchet it up. They're matching his energy. They're matching his swag. Why are they not doing that in Dallas? Why is the defense not matching Micah Parsons' energy? Why are they not matching his swag?
You know Dallas was off this week, right?
I know they were off this week, but I'm saying in general, because Dallas is on the cusp too. Dallas is this really
KG. Hold on. All right, so let's think about this. I don't know how you look at the NBA NFL schedule. I see the first 4 weeks as a semi version of the preseason, right?
Okay.
They're getting them because they didn't prepare themselves in August to play football. They're getting themselves ready on the go. This month, it's like the NBA. Like, I don't get worried about the NBA until Christmas. I don't get worried about the NFL until after Halloween. So next week, I think we kind of get a better picture of who teams are. We've got 8 weeks of who they showed themselves to be, and then we just go from there. I mean, this league, we've seen so many teams go on 5-7 game win streaks and all of a sudden end up in the playoffs and change your whole thought process about that team. So let's give it some time, man. Let it marinate.
Okay, I'll let it marinate.
You trying to cook your ribs too fast, man.
Hey, I boil my ribs before I cook them. So I mean, that's the way they tend to they fall off the bone.
Even still.
All right, man. I like that. I like that. The not so subtle reel me back in. I got you. I got you. I got you. Hype fades. Dallas is a pretender until further notice.
They're gonna be the team that you got to watch during next week, because I think there's a chance there may be a Zeke reunion, or it might be something where they try to get them a running back with some oomph to them. So that way they can. Huh?
We talking about Dallas?
Yeah.
What's wrong with Tony Pollard?
There's a little thing called LIA. Lighting ass. He a little lighting ass, bro.
I'm gonna leave that alone. I got you. Hey, I like Tony Pollard, so
I do too. I think he's a great early down back. I just don't, and I like him 20-20. But when you get inside the 20s and you got to bump him around a little bit,
you gotta have somebody that run past and it sound like a thundering herd.
Yeah, somebody gotta get a somebody needs some contact, because football is a contact sport.
That's true. Come on.
Oh Jesus.
Ooh, I like it. Ross says Jonathan Taylor, that's a Dallas move. Yeah, it is. And Jerry said they want to be active at the trade deadline, which I believe is next Tuesday at 4.
Yeah, it's next Tuesday. It's the 31st.
Okay.
And on the NFL, it is at 4:00 because that way you got enough time to get it in for the shoes.
Paul says the guy with Miss Fat Booty as his intro music. I love it. I love it. Sticking it with the week 7 roundup. Now we got to come home and we got to sweep around our own front door before we try to sweep around somebody else's.
Hold on. Don't we got the Dolphins and the Eagles?
Oh, shit. We do. I am sorry. Before we even come home, I'm sorry. I fucked that up. My bad, y'all. My bad. We got to go Dolphins, which was game of the week. And we talking about pretenders, and I still messed it up. The Dolphins were exposed this week. 31-17 losers to the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly, I guess. Jalen Hurts, 23 of 31, 279, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Tua Tagovailoa, 23 of 32, 216, touchdown and a pick. DeAndre Swift had 15 carries, 62 yards. Tyreek Hill, 11 receptions, 88 yards. AJ Brown still on that damn tear. I told y'all he was better than DK Metcalf. Nobody wanted to believe me. 10 receptions, 137 yards, and a touchdown. Your thoughts on this game?
I think Miami, there's certain teams that Miami just isn't going to be able to beat. And a team like Philly is going to give them problems because Philly's just as explosive. They could turn it just like that. I think what's going to help them is when they get Jalen Ramsey back. I think that's going to change some of the dynamics, some of the matchups. So let's not start judging Miami just yet because Miami's got some things they got to work out. You got to get Devin A-Chain back so you can get some more pop back into the running game. So with the loss, I think they just played a dominant front, and then they had some help. I saw the Jalen Hurts and the referee meme where they exchanged jerseys after the game. There were some questionable calls. I saw one guy go through the line and looked like he got clothesline, and then didn't get called, or they called a roughing the passer on Wilkins because he made the tackle. All I'm saying that is just like, I think there's some times where these teams, again, like we said, we're week 7, and some of these teams haven't gotten their complete identities, and there's some matchups that just don't work for people. And that's where we are. We got a matchup that didn't work for them. Excuse me. Oh, God.
I'll give you that. I heard a lot of people say, well, they cheated for Philly and this, that, and other. No, man. The Dolphins just got exposed. I mean,
is it exposed? I mean, because you got to think, all right, name another team in the league built like Philadelphia, where you got 5 solid old linemen. I mean, each old lineman, I feel like, is probably in the top tier of their position group. You know, you got Swift and the ability with this offense to be as explosive as Miami with Swift, with Brown. Like, let's think of the combinations. And I don't know if everybody fits in that program. You know, there's a reason like Miami struggles with them, but for some reason, this Dr. Checkle and Mr. Hyde team that we call the Commanders, like they give Philly problems at times. It depends on when they play them. Some weeks they play them and it's like you don't even know who that team is.
Yeah, I give you that. What was I gonna say? Oh, here's the thing. I say they exposed them because they stopped them from being able to do what they do. Now, if you dominant, you can pretty much tell anybody, we getting ready to run counter trey. We get ready to run 50 gut. We getting ready to run the K-gun offense. See if you can stop it. See if you can keep up. And they know what's coming, but they can't stop it. Now, Tyreek Hill had a drop in that game on I think it was a slant. It was either a post or a slant. and he would have walked in the end zone. And he, out of character, he had it, dropped it, knocked it off his leg. I thought he caught it and started running and knocked it out of his hand and fumbled, and they scored. But no, it's an incomplete pass. It was just like things weren't clicking for the Dolphins. And I don't want people to say, well, the refs gave it to Philly. Sometimes you got to give credit where credit is due. Philly's a really, really good team. Philly is the defending NFC champions. It's a really, really good team. You got to give credit where credit is due. If that's the case, and we're going to blame the refs for everything, well, we can blame the refs for the dynasty of New England.
Well, they kind of sort of do.
No, we can really blame the refs because, they done did so many shows. Oh, that's not true and this, that, and that. But we can really blame them. So, but I digress.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not even gonna do it to you. Now we come home.
Oh, we forgot. No, we ain't got no more. Oh, we did talk about Rams Steelers real quick at the end of the segment.
Steelers win 24-17 over the Rams. I think I picked the Steelers in this game. Kenny Pickett 17-25, 230 yards. Matt Stafford 14-29, 231, and a touchdown to pick. Go ahead.
No, I just think this game was one of those games that showed you where when you have a true dominant pass rusher. I think this is the moment where that pass rusher influences the ball game, and you could say that today, yesterday, or I should say Sunday. You had Myles Garrett, and I think you had this guy here, T.J. Watt, and we got into an argument watching the game about T.J. Watt, but he's up there. But these guys are balling, and these guys are showing you why they're the elite of the elites. So they gotta step it up. I'm surprised that Pittsburgh won this, but this is an example again of where coaching comes in, where somebody believes in the process and you have a process. This game wasn't won Sunday at 1 p.m. This was won August 23rd at 2:30 p.m. This was won August 24th at 11 a.m. morning workouts. This game was won in the off season. This is when your coach comes in, prepares you, and gets you ready. He gets you ready in preseason to be ready for the challenges of the season, and then he makes adjustments and he makes the team continue to work. And that's what this was this week.
I'll say this. T.J. Watt. Now, here's a guy. Nah, I like T.J. Watt. I really do. George Pickens even had a really good game in this game as well. 5 catches, 107 yards. Puka Nacua?
Yes, sir.
8 receptions, 154 yards. So I know Lady C is loving that pickup because she has him. And wow is all I can say. Because he's been putting up big numbers every week.
Puka Nacua.
Paul says the push play. Yeah, the tush push. I'm not a fan of that. I'll be honest with you. It is a rugby play. I'm not a fan of it, but it's gonna come a time where that's outlawed. And the reason why I'm not a fan of it, because the push play cost my Notre Dame Fighting Irish a shot at a national championship. That Bush push game, which is illegal in college football. And I will go until the breath leaves my body. And then even when I'm dead and gone, and the calendar has changed, when the wind blows, you'll hear USC cheated. Even from the grave. I don't like it,
but you got to remember, in the rule book, so look this up about the pushing up.
The Midnight Rider went silent. My guy went silent. I think the phone rang. But let me say this. That whole push play, it's going to be outlawed. They're going to take it away. They're already talking about it. Just like jumping over the line. But I think it's either high school or Division II, 1AA, something like that, where a player jumped over the line and power bombed the quarterback so he couldn't get pushed. He hit him with almost like a sunset flip. Go ahead, Midnight Rider. You read the rule book.
No, I read the rule book, and it just says that pushing is not illegal. It's the actual pulling of a player. Pulling the player along with you is where the aiding of the runner is illegal. But they don't pay attention to that either. So,
but now here's the thing. On one hand, I'm upset about it, but I'm upset about it for a totally different reason.
On the other hand, think about it.
Huh?
You're upset because we didn't think about it.
Well, that too. But on the other hand, you can't. What was that? I forget what game that was this weekend. Where the running back picked up 6 yards, had a gang of tacklers, and everybody came and they pushed him for an extra 15 yards. They came and pushed the pile and started pushing.
It was an Army game.
That's what it was. He kept going. I was like, that I can get behind. So why can't I get behind the push? The tush push. I don't know.
The brotherly shove is what they call it.
Yeah. As they call it. Ross, it's coming. Perry, you didn't miss much. We just doing week 7 recap, and now it's time to bring it home and talk about these God blasted Commanders who are losers to the New York Football Giants, 14-7. I got a lot to say about this game, but I'm gonna give it to the Midnight Rider first. Let me throw some stats at you. Sam Howell, 22 of 42, 249 in the interception. Tyrod, not Tyrod. Tyrod Taylor, 18 of 29, 279 and 2 touchdowns. Chris Rodriguez, 7 carries, 31 yards. Saquon Barkley, 21 carries, 77 yards. Scary Terry had 6 receptions for 90. Darren Waller had himself a ball game, 7 catches, 98 yards and a touchdown. Midnight Rider.
See, this is the only thing I don't like about Tuesday shows because, like, I become more level-headed. You know what I'm saying? I become more, like, I've watched it. I've sat back. The demeanor has changed. I'm a little kind of gentler now than I would have been in a normal situation. Like, Sunday at 5:05, it'd have been flames, you know what I'm saying? Spitting fire here. But as I watch and I look back at this ball game, this is what this team does. You know, we talk about not liking prosperity. Team doesn't like prosperity. Talking about a team that came into this ball game, and I said this before last week when we asked the question, what's holding this offense back? I think the 3 things that we talked about, offensive line, the offensive coordinator, and the quarterback, were all things that held this team back on Sunday. It didn't make sense, the game plan. Like, I don't understand how he felt, and maybe it was because of limited choices and limited options, because they kept shooting themselves in the foot. Maybe because the quarterback kept missing high or wide, offensive linemen getting ran past. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. But there needed to be a better plan in place. And I know I posted earlier this week, like, if you're pushing for this guy and that guy being Eric Bieniemy to be this team's head coach, he can't be my head coach. He scored 7 and he scored 3 points in the last 4 weeks. Obviously, he can't get his offense together. So there's no way I want him running this ball club, trying to get this team together because he can barely do his job. So I need him to do his job first. So there's no way I'm promoting for him to be the head coach of this ball club at all. I need him to show me he can be my offensive coordinator. And maybe that's not a popular opinion, but I need him to get his stuff together. Because between the line, the quarterback and him, there's a problem. And for some reason, I don't know, we felt we were good enough on the line that we went and got a journeyman to play right tackle. The guy that's been fighting all preseason long to be the starting guard can't even not be inactive. He's inactive every week. Haven't seen Chris Paul yet. So, I don't know, man. Go ahead. I'll come back to the defense.
I'm not as level-headed as the Midnight Rider. I'm not as calm in nature. I've had time to think about it, and that's the wrong thing. You want my knee-jerk reaction. You don't want to give me time to think about no shit like this. That piss-poor fucking performance that we put on Sunday needs to be shown over and over and over and over and over to this team, because you want to come out and say, "Oh, I'm tired of this shit. 7 fucking years, same fucking thing." Where the fuck was that fire at on the field Sunday, huh? Where was that at? If you look at the all 22s, how many fucking plays did the defense give up on, huh? If you don't have the fucking fire in your belly, how are you playing this game? The offensive line can't block toddlers. But yet and still, they still rated so high. I don't know if y'all looking at y'all press clippers or your PFF ratings, whatever the fuck you looking at. Stop it. You're not that fucking good. Everybody talking about 5 JDR, 5 JDR. Who you gonna replace him with, huh? You want to give the keys to Airbnb, huh? Okay, go ahead. I'll wait. Go ahead. Because it's gonna be the same shit. Because it's the same fucking players. I'm at the point right now, and Ross said it. He said, "Welcome to the dark side." I'm at the point right now where I think it's time. 4 years. 4 years. And we've only had really and truly one winning season in 4 years. We're 3-4 in year 4. He said, "Give me 5." We're in year 4, and we're 3-4 after 7 games. I don't know if I have any more fucking patience for this. I don't even know. Because we got all this talent, but we can't win a ball game. We can't beat a 1-5 team. We couldn't beat a 0-4 team. Right now, we should be 5-2. At the least, we should be 5-2. 6-1, if you want to be technical. Because we should have beat Philly as well. Out of the 4 losses that we had, Philly, the Giants, Philly, and Chicago. That's 3 wins we should have had. We should be 6-1 right now. Should be 6-1. But here we are, 3-4 after 7 weeks. 3-4. Like, come on. Are they not listening? Are you not getting through? What are y'all? Obviously, whatever you're doing during the week, when you get to Sunday, it all dissipates. It don't matter what you're doing during the week because you're not prepared. That the offensive play calling in the first half Sunday stinks. I grew up with Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs would take a whole game plan, throw it in the trash can at halftime, come back out with a whole new game plan, and run it. Whole new team. But no, we still run the same old tired plays. Players that should, Chris, my man, what's his name? Rodriguez, he should be getting the ball a little bit more. B-Rob should be getting the ball a little bit more. Like, the amount of 3 and outs, Tressway punted the ball, 10 times?
Yep.
On Sunday?
He leads the league in punt yards with 500 yards.
513 yards. Great. I mean, that's 51.3 yards a punt. Great. Yeah, but I don't want my punter to be my only Pro Bowler. I don't want my punter to be my best player on the team because you see him so fucking much. As a Redskins football team Commander fan, man, I'm motherfucking tired of this shit. I'm really tired. Like, something's got to change. Do I want to tear it all down and try to rebuild again? I'm tired of going through fucking rebuilds. I'm tired of having talent that we go through rebuilds with, and all of a sudden we go through the next phase of the rebuild with another coach, and it's a whole nother rebuild, and that talent's gone. Oh, he wasn't that good anyway. This motherfucker just went and helped win a Super Bowl. But you saying he's not that good. I'm tired of that, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of the back and forth of whether it's how good enough. Yes, how's good enough. You have to give him time, granted, but you also have to nurture him. I don't feel he's being nurtured enough. Offensive line got to keep him upright, but you also got to get in his ass about spinning in the sacks and trying to do too much. The defense is supposed to be our strong point. The defense seems to be our Achilles heel because they can't stop anybody. I seen a play where Chase Young came off if you're looking at the screen, he was at the top of the screen. He comes down. Saquon Barkley hits the hole at the bottom of the screen. He kind of just lets up and starts jogging and stops running. What are you doing? Get after him. You're not even being blocked. Get after him. People say you can sit there and you can talk about these guys all day long because you're not in their position. At one point in time, I was in their position. Maybe not at that level, but I was in their position. I don't give a damn what my record is. I was still going to go out there and show my damn heart. This team has no heart. And I just said it. I love them to death, but they're not playing with the heart that they should be playing with. It's too much talent. Too much fire. Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Chase Young, and Montez Sweat are nothing but animals. They are vicious, man. I need y'all to get on the same page. Like, y'all got to go on a run or something. I'm just tired, man. Tired. I don't know none of these guys personally. I just know them as everybody on the team. I'm just a fan like everybody else, but as a fan, I'm fucking tired, man. As a podcast, I'm tired of talking about this fucking team in a negative light every fucking week, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of the not showing up against the little sisters of the poor and getting beat. You want to show up against the juggernauts, the Powell Memorials, the UCLA of the 70s. You want to show up against them, but you won't show up against the little guys that you should be beating. I digress. Let's get to some comments. Paul says, new owner, you got to give him a chance to make it right if Ron gets the axe. That's true. That is true. And I think that axe is coming in the bye week because Magic Johnson's not happy. Paul also says Shad Khan went through Gus Bradley, Doug Marrone before the Urban Meyer debacle. Now he has Peterson, who has won the same number of games as Gus did in 4 years. That's true. Ross says, why did they continue to run 5-7-step drops when they were getting killed? Why didn't they run the ball? Why did they run the ball only 9 times in the first half? That's a good question.
You had a bunch of 3 and outs. That's why.
Yeah, but it's like they never ran.
Even you can't run if you don't have a number of plays.
But even on first down, second down, something, they don't run the ball in the first half at all. It's like they try to run it in the second half, but you should be running to try to set up the pass. Ain't that that's how you, I don't know. My old school philosophy don't fucking work. So, Ross says way too much of that going on from the defensive side. I'm taking it that he's talking about the letting up on plays when you're still in the play and you just kind of you're giving it up. Paul says mathematics. I don't know. My question of the week, my question was to Brian Mitchell. How do you fix it? Where do we go from here? What happens? I asked the same question to you. I'm going to ask the same question to everybody listening. Where do we go from here?
I mean, you do what you always do. You try to have a good week of practice. And you try to do it from there. I mean, the thing that everybody keeps forgetting, they're like, oh, let's go get this and let's get that. The only person that this team can bring in as a GM right now is somebody without a job, and that's the somebody that you don't want. The only reason you could bring in a Bruce Allen was because Bruce was sitting on the couch eating Tostitos and watching games with a Coors Light in his hand. So let's pause on like, oh, they're being too patient. They should have came in and put their foots down and showed the world what they were about. You can't show the world what you're about if all you're just doing it ever, because now you're bringing in somebody else in that you probably don't want. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't fit your way of thinking. Like, we should be calling when this season's over. That phone call should be right to Kansas City, San Francisco, even Philadelphia. We should be calling somebody in one of these front offices to say, hey, we need you to come do what you do, but do it here. That's what needs to happen. And then you need to wait. You need to tell every coach that's on the coaching staff, you can keep your phone on. We might call you back, but we're not calling you for a head coaching job. But that's also going to depend on what happens these next 10 games. Like these next 10 games, just ain't it. We got to figure it out, because we could very well be sitting here in 3 weeks, because you know how Ron's teams do, and they're 5-5, and now we're in the teams to watch part of the photo that comes on the pregame shows, because we have a chance to make the playoffs. Like, we're back to right now, circling the wagons on that mediocrity. So I don't know, man. I'm speechless to a certain degree, because I know for a fact that this team cannot continue to do what it's doing and expect the fans to be accepting of it, because I think the fans have checked out and ready to check out. And that's a bad thing, because we're in year 4. And this dude's still talking about rebuilding and retooling. And I see your question, Ross. I don't want them to do much of anything. If they're not trading somebody and getting rid of one of the 2 DNs, I don't want them to do anything else, because I don't trust them. If I can't trust you to do what you do right now, I mean, we had what, 8 draft picks, 7 draft picks? And Sunday we got 4 plays out of our 8 draft picks this past year. Come on, man. I don't want these jokers making too many moves. I don't want these jokers trying to set up this team for the future, because they can't. They show me they can't.
I'm gonna tell you what I heard.
You keep telling me it's a young team. But we 4 years in.
Yeah.
Year 1.
I'll tell you what I heard.
Keep going back to the same thing. We don't have a freaking identity. I don't know what this team is. I don't know what this team does well. What I do know is I'm supposed to have a dominant front 4. But the fraudulent 4 got handled like it was nobody's business against New York for the drives that they scored on. And I know they only gave up 14 points, but still. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
2 things. What I heard was either Sweat or Young or both at the trade deadline for picks, because that way if teams is offering a king's ransom for them because they want to sign the long-term deals. Okay. The other thing I heard is, the other thing I know is that front 4 came in. This is why I picked them to win this game, because you're coming in against 3rd and 4th string guards and tackles. A guy that they just got off the fucking couch. Y'all couldn't even beat him.
But you still got to give them perspective. They held this team to 14 points. You hold somebody to 14 points, you're supposed to win a ball game.
And here's a question for you. What is going on with Dotson? I seen somebody on Twitter was like, stop looking for him to have a breakout season. It's not going to happen. People are talking about fans or so-called fans are talking about going to FedEx on Sunday just to start a chant to say fire Ron in the first quarter.
I mean, this fan base has been known to do a lot of that type of stuff What's the point?
That's my whole point. What's the point?
Like, I don't know what you're getting at. I don't know because then you're what you doing? You're hiring a special teams coach? Because if I listen to them being my fellow fans, you're not hiring a DC. Your OC can't showing you that he can't handle the responsibility. So the only person you can have get the job is Casser. You're not bringing in a head coach from the outside. Now, somebody made a statement earlier this week. Maybe they just said it today, but it echoed in my ear. I think it was Cakes from the Junkies. He was like, "Who is the coaching star on this coaching staff? Like, who's the guy that like when this season's over, team's gonna call and be like, hey, I want to interview him for a head coach. Maybe it's Eric, but we got time to figure that out because he ain't there right now. I'm sorry, but that's a pretty big statement that you don't have in this building somebody talented enough to be the next guy. You had him, but he's in Tennessee now because either you didn't understand what the rules were with Chris Harris, or you just decided to let him go because you felt you was good at the DB coaching spot. I don't know. But that's the closest thing you've had to a coaching superstar in this building. Scott Turner has failed you miserably. Eric Bieniemy is failing you right now. So what are we doing? What are we talking about here? You can go chant fire run all you want, but I mean, right now, to be honest with you, I think you just stuck with him. I think Harris and them have enough smarts that it's no need to rush the decision. Like, you can't really go nowhere from making a decision when you, like I said, you're not going to use either one of the coordinators, the offense or defensive coordinator. So unless you're hiring a special teams guy, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, Paul said Rick Spielman, and you said no. Ross jumps in. He says, it's been 4 years of the same shit, same speeches, same words. We are working on it. Same line, different year. Coach's trick is over. And I'm starting to feel that way. You know me, I said it a couple of shows ago. I was like, I'll run through a wall for Ron Rivera. But it just feels like the guys that are being paid don't feel the same way. And somebody said it perfectly. I want to say it was Stephen A., but I may be wrong. Don't quote me on who said it. They said Ron is a beautiful human being. He's a great person. But he's not a good head coach.
Here's how I feel about this, and I'm gonna say it this way: you can't keep telling me about talented guys holding guys accountable, but then I see the same guys getting their ass beat every week. I need that accountability to step up. I need for David Mayo not to be my next best option when somebody gets hurt. You're trying to tell me that none of these kids, Harris or none of them, Khalil Hudson, none of those guys are better than Mayo? Is that what you're really telling me? Because if that's the case, then we've done another piss poor job of building this roster. If I'm watching Nick Gates get ran by every time, then that's a problem. Because we've done a piss poor job of building this roster. Stromberg, he can't be worse.
Yeah. Here's something somebody said earlier today.
Chris Paul. Can he be worse? I mean, I know Sadiq Charles may be out this week anyway. So why isn't this Chris Paul's week? All preseason long has been, Chris Paul is the starter right now. He's dense, he's this, he's that. Well, fucking show me. Show me something. Show me something. Show me where we're holding people accountable and making them earn their job, earn their keep. I just keep seeing the same guys getting the same ass whippings every week. And at some point, if they're not tired of it, then maybe they need to call me because I'll be tired for them. Maybe they ain't got the energy to be tired of it, but I am.
Here's
something that was where the same thing for Sam. Like Sam got 2 weeks on my clock, and you know me. I'm not. I don't want to go 2% because we've been there, done that with the replacement level quarterback. But this guy's got to put this offense in a place to be successful. He's got to get better at what he's doing. EB got to get better. Like we need these guys. They need to sit down, and maybe John Allen need to put his do-rag on and his gold chain and unbutton his shirt 2 buttons and show the taco meat and tell his teammates that he's pissed and he's tired of this shit. But actually say it in a place where they understand it and it's not just hearsay. It's not just for the public. Like this is the time they need to sit down and talk to each other like, yo, you're fucking up. We're losing because of you. You're not helping us. You're holding us back. Maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need a team-only meeting. I don't care what it is. But something got to happen. See, I wasn't even going to get upset. But now you got me all riled up. I was going to be.
It needs to happen. And, if Coach Thompson heard you say that, you'd be in trouble, right? He ain't like players-only meetings because, you sitting around talking about me. Say what you got to say to me now.
No, I used to. Yeah, when we coached, I was like, tell me what you think. Fuck. But when I had a film session when we was coaching high school ball. Man, I was like, you really want me to scout you? Because this could get ugly. Like, I'm going to say some things. Yeah, coach, say what you think. All right. And when I let loose, they was like, oh. Like, the room was just quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watch basketball. I know, look, I tell anybody any time of day of the week. As a basketball player, I'm not more talented than anybody. Most jokers on the basketball court. But I'm smart. And I can steal enough to where I can be effective on the basketball court. I'm not going to get you 30. Don't worry about that. 30, not going to happen. I might get you 10 and 10. And that 10 and 10 might be 10 assists, 10 rebounds. But I'm a role player. I already know this. But yeah, when I watch stuff and I'm watching you play and I'm watching you not do what you're supposed to do, like at some point you gotta be accountable. You can't be like, oh, coach don't like me. No, it ain't coach don't like you. Coach can't trust you. And when I watch this team, there's a lot of moments where I feel like coach can't trust you to do your job. Coach can't trust Nick Gates to block Dexter Lawrence. Because all we saw all week long was the sexy Dexy. I seen that like 4 times on my TV. Got me back on the tangent. See, KG, you be setting me up.
I ain't set you up. Let's get to these comments because we got to get to the list.
I don't even know where the list is.
You got to find a list. Ross say I would see what I can get for Sweat and Young. Paul says Ted Lasso, interim coach.
Are we talking about practice? Talking about practice here?
Oh man. Ross says it feels like, side note, Bradley Beal out for the season opener, back issues. Yeah, I saw that. I was gonna get to that and wrap it up, Ross. I was gonna say something about that. Phoenix rejuvenate your career, huh?
And this game 1 at 82. Get off Bradley Beal's back. It hurts enough. He probably heard it. Being here, carrying ColecoVision Jones and all them bums that y'all had here in Washington.
Y'all. I runs around in Chicago.
I know you do. I'm just saying.
Ross also said, play the last 10 games out. Probably end up like Ben said, short, little run, have some playoff sweat, then shit the bed. End the season, total house cleaning. Should have been coach centric. Ross also says, I don't want to hear the words. I want to see it on the field. This team has no spark, no fight, no hype. It's flat as fuck. That right there. What Ross said. That right there. I agree 1,000%. That's what need to be said in the locker room. Fuck what you saying in these interviews. Show it on the field. That. Whew. See, this is the catharsis we need to move past this, because I'm tired of the Giants treating us like the last chick at the dance, and we just getting banged around and shit. Like I'm not feeling that, man. I'm not feeling it. This is the catharsis that we need to get to healing. And V. Williams says, "Love always." So even in the middle of the rant, there's love. Ladies and gentlemen,
world go around, man.
What the world needs now.
It's lots of love.
Nah, the world. You know what the world needs right now. You got to give the people the
got
people
to
need,
give the people.
the people need the list.
You just made the list. Wow, here we go. I don't know if I can top last week, but I must try to stick with some of last week's information. At number 5, staying in Texas, you know how we do. This guy's gonna be my guy the whole time. This is the one person that I get to cheat and keep on the list. This is my Mel Kiper version of what's the dude that got drafted by the Tennessee Titans last year to play quarterback? Will Levis. This is my Will Levis. You know who it is. University of Texas quarterback. Quinn Ewers.
He's going to be out for some time.
Sir. You still make the list. He made the list today. All right, let's go. Number 4. Number 4 is going to be interesting because I'm watching some people play. I'm seeing some people fall off. I'm seeing some people move up. I'm seeing some people move back. I just don't like his decision making. So number 3 still has to be the kid out of LSU, Jalen Daniels. So Jalen Daniels, you have made the list as I break my pen. Number 3. My pen, you know what my pen is? That's Nick Gates. My pen is Nick Gates. Number 3. After a rough 2 weeks, I gotta put him here. It's the kid from USC. The man that says, "Oh, I don't think I want to go pro because I make more money at USC." Caleb Williams, you have just made the list. This pen is falling apart quickly. At number 2, I'm gonna keep him here because we know what it is. We already know what it is. At number 2, the man from Colorado, Shedeur Sanders. And at number 1, flexing, giving it off. We're not going to use that pun from last week because we don't want to run that pun in the ground. But we know who it is. The kid from Washington, the lefty, Michael Penix Jr. And that is, Michael Penix Jr. You also made the list. Here we go. So now, recap it real quick. 1, Michael Penix. 2, Shedeur Sanders. 3, Caleb Williams. 4, Jalen Daniels. 5, Quinn Ewers. And yes, Quinn will be in the honorable mention section next week. So don't worry about that. But the 5 of you guys have made the list.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it.
I got to call down to Texas this week. I haven't gotten my text message this week from Quinn. So he gonna text me. He gonna be like, Sensei, this is what's going on. And we're gonna figure it out. But I'm gonna have to move him into honorable mention. And the person that I'm thinking about moving into the list is Sam Hartman. He's impressed me enough this year where he gets some looks. Drake May, they lost to UVA over the weekend. I didn't get a chance to really see how much of an impact he had on that ball game. So this is going to be a busy weekend college football wise. I do know 2 quarterbacks who won't make the list anytime soon. I don't know if you watched Ohio State versus Penn State, but McCord and Drew Aller, you are nowhere near the list, if I say so myself. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I noticed that no Bo Nix love.
I've seen 4 years of Bo Nix. No. It's a great question. It is a very good question, and I saw the guy for 4 years play a certain way, and yes, he's better this year, and maybe he'll get on now that Quinn's gonna drop out, but it's like maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm being rude to the ugly duckling because all I've known him as is the ugly duckling. I haven't looked at this swan yet. Maybe that's what I'm doing. Maybe I'm messing up. I can't hear you. Well, it might be on my side though.
NBA.
I think
starts up the.
I'm gonna talk while you're talking, just in case it's your side and not my side. But yes, the NBA started up tonight. We got the struggle. I'm looking at my Lakers. I think they're down by 13, maybe 15 to the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets got their rings tonight, which was a nice occasion, a nice celebration for them. Tomorrow we started with the Wizards. The Wizards play in Indiana tomorrow night. So we get the Wizards on. And this Wizards team is going to be something that we're going to have to, you might have Pepto-Bismol to stomach the way the Wizards are set up to play. We're not set up for them to be, or they're not set up to be a 20-win team, a 30-win team. They're set up because they have Jordan Poole. You have Kyle Kuzma, and then after that, you're gonna have to just figure out what's next with this team. It's a lot of youth, it's a lot of young guys, and you do have Danilo Gallinari, but he's like your backup center right now. So this team is in a spot where they're gonna have to figure some things out, see who they want to be. But I suspect and I hope it's a lot of nights where they play hard, but they just can't get over the top because they just don't have the talent. And they built this process the right way. So that way now Washington can become a team that contends for years and not a team that's battling to win 42 games every year. And that's going to be the key for this whole thing. I got you, KG?
Yeah, I'm here. Hopefully you can hear me. I had to switch over to the phone. Computer just went to flow.
You're perfectly fine. I was just talking about the Wizards. They play Indiana tomorrow. If you had any thoughts on it.
I think the Wizards can actually pull it out, but we can always see. But I would love to see how this Wizards team starts off, because they start off hot. And they'll be nice and hot, and then all of a sudden they trail off. So yeah.
Well, they've been a little bit of everything. I mean, but the kicker is, in the wings, you got Avia and Koulibaly. Maybe they can turn you into more of a defensive team to help you out in the long run, to get you to a place where, you're maybe a higher ranked defensive team than you ever been. Because we know that's the struggle. We know that's something that we haven't seen this team fight or believe in. Is playing great defense every time, all the time. So that could be the thing.
Well, I heard you say that your Lakers were down. So
we're down 9.
How much time left?
We're in the third quarter, about 9 minutes left.
Okay,
so we got us a basketball run in us.
Still early,
right? And LeBron really hasn't been a factor in the ball game. So
Ross says just a guy.
Is that for your boy Bradley Beal, or is that for something else?
I don't know. But I mean, Bradley Beal is just a guy anyway. But I mean, everybody's just a guy. But Bradley Beal is really just a guy.
Okay. Stop the slander.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the show. And he said, Bill. He said, Bill, just a guy.
Okay.
I'm with it. We've come to the end of the show. I really believe that this is the catharsis that we needed as Commanders fans, where we had to get down and we had to talk about it today. I apologize to the Midnight Rider because I know he didn't plan on going on the tangent. I know he didn't plan on getting upset. So I apologize for getting him upset. But sometimes
you don't play on Sundays, big guy.
Well, if I did, I guarantee you wouldn't be upset. So
every now and then I just need that shove to go ahead and just let it go and just say what I'm thinking sometimes. Let's just get out of here.
Yep, because that's my alarm going off. Time to take meds. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, V. Everybody that watched, thank you, Perry. Everybody that came in, watched, and chilled out. Greatly appreciated. I mean, we did a pretty big show today. Be back on Thursday. Something short because we got the game and everything. So until Thursday, that's the Midnight Ride. I'm the big guy, KG. I would say we don't do no overtime. What you got?
We out of here?
Oh, yes, we are. We are out of here.